I feel it coming over me. Intrigue at New Hampshire. I could live like this. I could live like this.
Hey everyone! Welcome to Kensington Live. This is our, I should really keep track. Is this our 11th show? I think it's 11th. We're doing Kensington Live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night at 7 p.m. So I'm happy that you're here. We have actually quite a few watching, so thanks for watching. You can be watching either on Facebook or on YouTube through Kensington Theatre Company, either one. And while you're there, if you comment wherever you are on Facebook or YouTube, if you comment in the comment section, we'll get your comments on this end and I'll put them up on the screen. So if you have a story, if you were in the cast of Tuck Everlasting and you have a story about something that we're talking about, put it in the comments. Or if you have a question for the people that are on the screen, put it in the comments. We want to, it's so much fun for us to interact with you guys. So wherever you are, comment, okay? And I always say this is if something goes wrong, because it's live, this is live, it's the internet, things go wrong. If for some reason something goes wrong and we have an outage, say that we disconnect with Facebook, which happened once, go to the YouTube. And if YouTube disconnects, go to Facebook, okay? And try both before you give up and just stop watching the live stream, because we're going to still be here, okay? Whoa, now I'm going in and out of focus. Whoa, where am I? That's fun. Hello? Now you'll just get blurry Logan for the... Oh, there we go. Also, I was going to say that on YouTube, Kensington Theatre Company, if you look up Kensington Theatre Company on YouTube, you can watch all of the live streams that we've done, all 10 so far. They've been a lot of fun. If you have not been watching, go back and watch them. They're only like an hour and a half. Some of them are less, some of them are more, okay? Go watch them. They are a lot of fun. We've had people swinging from zip lines. We've had spit takes. We've raised like $1 million already for Kensington Theatre Company. So go watch them. They're a lot of fun, okay? Tonight, though, this is going to be a lot of fun. We're with the cast of Tuck Everlasting. This show is beautiful, but also this cast is a lot of fun. So you're going to have a good time. And we have some little surprises. So this should be kind of fun for you and for the cast. They don't know all the things that are happening, okay? I say this every live stream, but we're doing this to bring laughter, to bring some levity, some connection, because these are some crazy, unprecedented times, and we've been doing this, having a lot of fun, and we love that you're tuning in to watch. And I say this every time, so cue the dancing. We're all in this together. Yeah, you can start doing the High School Musical dance, okay? We're on this together. Yeah, everybody's dancing. I can see y'all. I should put y'all on the screen. But we're all in this together, and we just need to make sure that we're all doing okay. So every live stream, I've challenged everybody, will you reach out to 3 people and just make sure that they're okay? It doesn't have to be the same 3 people every day. It can be the same 3 people every day, but just check up on people, make sure that they're doing okay. One day is different than the other, and we're all accountable for each other, and we'll get through this together. So we reach out to 3 people. It will make us all better, and then come watch Kensington Live, because we're having a good time. We already have something. Yeah, I know. My blurry, that was the hardest game of hiding. I know. Well, I was right there, but, I love it. Okay. We have a lot of this with Tuck. People are already saying, like, they miss Tuck. Tuck is still one of my favorite. Okay, so we have tons of... Oh, there's Kelly. I love my Tuck. We have lots of comments. So keep the comments coming for Tuck. Okay, you guys? Let's get into this. Let's watch the trailer, and then let's do that. Let's watch the trailer, and then I'll bring on Toni. How about that? All right, this is the trailer for Tuck Everlasting.
Watch my every step. Find a sturdy branch. Don't you dare look down. Pull your body up. Dig in your heels. Let's see if this tree has a view. At the top of the world, you're drawing back a curtain. At the top of the world, there you know know for certain you're alive and you are free. So follow me to the top of the world.
You need a partner in crime to let your fists in a fight. In a sticky situation, lucky the tricks collaboration. Watching the road be long and lonely. We've only got tonight. Live like this forever.
Yay! It's so fun. All right, you know her. She's been on almost every single one of Kensington Live. She's the director of Tuck Everlasting, Toni Butler.
I'm sorry.
In a different place in the theater. Where are you, Toni?
I'm still on the apron. I'm just a different angle, so you can see. There's Tate and there's Lydia over there.
Hi, Lydia.
Yeah, I'm just on the stage. I'm excited. It won't look. It's empty. I miss you guys.
we miss theater, and we miss you too.
Aw.
Isn't that fun to watch that trailer video and see footage? I mean, we're gonna maybe hopefully see more footage, but I know, yeah, I know. This show it is so good, and it was so good. So I wanted you to talk about the special, how cool we are about being able to do Tuck Everlasting and that process.
Yeah, it was really fun. We actually, I can't remember why, but we didn't know what we were doing. I think we got denied for everything we were looking at. When we apply for our seasons, we apply for 3 shows at a time. Then if we get the rights, we look at how much it costs, and then we weigh which one we're going to do. And so with Tuck Everlasting in that December slot, we didn't get the rights for any of the shows that we applied for.
Of course.
And, yeah, I know. And so I was just browsing one day on the internet, and I saw Tuck Everlasting, and I thought, oh, surely. It just closed a year before. So I'm like, I'll apply. Why not? Why would not Kensington Theater get the rights to this play? And so I did get the rights, and I talked to my board, but there was a what do you call it? A constituent? Do you know what I mean? A rule.
Yeah.
There was a deal that I had to make with them that I would not. I applied for this in July, a year and a half before we did it, and I could not announce it till the July before we did it. And so I'm like, okay, because I had seen this on Broadway, and when I saw it, I thought, I'm always looking for shows that would be really great for. So I'm sending you one thing, but I haven't. So sending it. I really want to get this out to you. You'll see. It's so
Send
beautiful.
it to me.
I know.
Toni is the best. She is so awesome. Let me tell you about Toni.
Okay. Anyway,
yeah.
So we got the rights. We decided we were going to do it, and there must have been another theater that was doing it, because why would we have to not disclose that we had it? So apparently Hale just announced just right after that they were doing Tuck Everlasting, and so I'm like, that's why we couldn't announce it. So we had to keep it a secret until the July, and then we announced it. Oh, but anyway, I was going back to the Broadway show. When I saw it, I'm like, hey, this is a show that we could do in community theater. It's so clean, so family and friendly, and it was beautiful. Like, I loved it. Did you get to see it on Broadway?
No, I wish.
Okay. I'm like, you see everything, so maybe you saw it.
No.
Yeah, we actually were on choir tour, and we got permission from Thorpe, which you don't usually get, right, to go and see an extra show. And so we ran to the theater as fast as we can. A whole bunch of us ran, and we got in. We actually missed the prologue, so I'd never seen the prologue before, and which is sad, right, because it's so beautiful. But we saw the rest, and that night, the person who wrote Tuck Everlasting was actually in the audience, so they saluted her that night, and I think Lily Graham sat like right next to her. If I remember right. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Anyway, so when we got the rights, I was stoked. I was certain we could do it. And I'm so glad we did, because it's, I don't know, it's right up there with Princess Academy for me. Just a really beautiful show where I'll always love Tuck Everlasting in my heart. I don't know if I could ever do it again, because I loved it so much how we did it.
Yeah. Well, it's a special show as is, but and we're going to talk about why I think it was even more special, because you're a genius and I don't cry, and I got pretty much there and tear up during the show. We're going to talk about it later. It's okay. But yes, this was gorgeous. I'm going to put up some of the comments. All the feels, love Tuck. Oh, look, she's back in the theater. I know. It's like, where
I know.
Let's see. Oh, Tuck will forever be my favorite show performed and listened to. It was a true dream to be a part of. Oh, and we love Tuck Everlasting, and we love all of you. So thank you for coming. Should we? I'm gonna bring on some people so that we can get talking, and or so that I can, anyways, get videos that you're sending me up.
Another one's on its way.
Yay! It's so fun. Okay, so let's start with two for now. Let's bring on Nikki and Preston. How are ya?
Good.
How are ya?
I know, I'm just so yelly when I. Anyways, all right.
Pleased to see you're blonde again, Preston.
Yeah, it's not too blonde, but it's fun.
I love it.
Of course, Nikki and Preston were our two, Jessie Tuck and Winnie Foster in Tuck Everlasting. Yeah, not just Tuck, right? Jessie Tuck. So I want to know from you guys, and then we're going to talk to we're going to bring on all of the Tucks in a second, and then we'll talk to some more people. But I always ask this to everybody: what was your favorite moment? It can be on stage as your character. It can be off stage, or it can be in the rehearsal process, or it doesn't even have to be about your character. Just your favorite part of the production.
While they're thinking about this, can I tell you about their casting information? Yeah. Just because I have some favorite parts about Tuck, and it involved a lot of the casting.
Do it.
Well, my vision for it when I saw Tuck Everlasting was I was really creeped out by it. The idea that there's this 17-year-old trying to get this 11-year-old, you know what I mean? Like, drink from the spring and we're going to get married. And you're supposed to believe that you want them to be together, but it's really creepy. And so I put out, in my casting heart, the casting gods, that I wanted a girl that was old enough that we wouldn't be creeped out by it, because she could play young, but she was mature enough that we could invest in that relationship. And so while we were auditioning, we had so many great Winnies come on audition for us. So many. Oh my gosh. And then Nikki walks through the door and I'm like, what? And she looks like she's 2, but she's not. She was a senior that year. And oh my gosh, she was so good. And I remember, right, Nikki, you couldn't come to a callback. Is that right?
I couldn't come to the callback. I had Shakespeare.
Right. And so she had to come in early. And so I believe Preston could, but I asked him to come in and read with her. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And so Preston came, and Preston had already played our riff, and everybody fell in love with Preston because he's all that and a bag of chips on stage. And so I was thinking he was a real big possibility for Jessie. And oh my gosh, when these two read and sang together, I don't know, Michelle, I think recorded it, or I recorded it. Someone did, of them singing together. And it was so amazing. And then of course we did the Saturday auditions, but I couldn't get Nikki out of my head because she was so amazing. And then the chemistry, and really it was a good chemistry between Preston and Nikki, was so awesome. Now Preston's story is a little bit more funny because Preston's like, "What's Tuck? Is there even a part for you?" I'm like, there's a good part. I think that you could probably play in it. I don't know. Yeah, and I also asked Preston to dye his hair blonde. I'm like, he's usually dark, and I'm like, could you go blonde for me? Because Theresa was going to be blonde in it. Or I asked her to go blonde, but she actually ended up wearing a wig because she's a natural blonde. And I wanted them to be like a family, have that part of it. So he did it. But anyway, it was just really fun that he was completely ignorant of it. And Nikki was completely not. She was perfect for the part. I'm sorry. So now, Nikki, let's let you talk about your favorite parts of Tuck.
I just remember one of my favorite parts was our first read through because I was so nervous because I didn't know anyone, like not one person on the cast list. Like I was like, I don't know one person. I don't know anyone. So I was so nervous because like I was worried that people wouldn't like me or whatever. But the first read through
didn't know you is because you commuted from American Fork.
Yeah.
Every day.
And so, but then we did the first read through and everyone was just friends like the first day. And we were just like, it was just so great. And I knew it was going to be awesome.
It was. What about you, Preston?
I have so many. You're going to make me pick.
Yeah, it's very hard to pick.
No, Logan's not here. We can do whatever we want, right? She can talk.
No. Here. No, definitely my favorite thing was just the relationship between the Tuck family, and that does include Nikki. She is a part of the Tuck family. I remember anytime we had a rehearsal, especially when we were doing the Story of the Tucks scene, I just loved how we meshed so well that we couldn't even rehearse. And that was just so fun. And I loved it so much.
Oh my gosh. I think for the Tucks, like whenever I've directed Joseph in the past, the brothers are like hurting, laughing hyenas. It's like so hard because they're so funny and so charismatic. 12 charismatic men in one place is like, a really to be, right? But it's so hard to direct. Well, the Tucks equaled my 12 brothers. They were so funny and charismatic, and you'll meet them. I mean, you'll see them all together. They were amazing, but they were having so much fun. Often we would get little done because they were having so much fun. It was truly awesome. I want to ask you, Preston.
Yeah.
Now, the fun thing about Tuck is everything was up high. The tree was up high. The silo was high. I mean, everything. The house was high. Everything. And I didn't even know this, but you're scared of heights.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I was there with you on that silo, Nikki. You were as scared as I was.
Hey, that one was scary, but you were scared of the tree, and the tree wasn't scary.
The tree.
It wasn't.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine.
A little model of the tree. No, I thought it was so funny that I had no idea, but he's like terrified. Oh, look at their tree.
Oh, I missed that tree so much.
It was a good
No, you
tree.
don't.
Hey, I was really nervous.
You know what, Nikki? I met you.
I asked my friend who works, he's a technical director. Hi, Jared. If you're watching, probably not, but you should watch Jared. I asked him, how would you build a tree? And he's like, no, the only person who should build a tree is God. And I'm like, ooh, okay. And then I was really worried about Hill because they always do such a really good job. And then ours was second. And so I'm like, oh, they're going to build this most amazing tree because the tree in the Broadway one is, it's amazing. It's the most gorgeous tree I've ever seen on stage, of course. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to recreate a tree. And my budget is, we're talking like $500 to build the tree, where like Hale has like, $18 billion, I think. I think that's the right. And so it is 18 reaffirmed. And anyway, so I was really, really nervous. Anyway, but I thought, you know what, just do it. Build it the way that you can do it. Build it the way that, it'll work for our company. And I was so pleased how the tree worked out and how Preston, we fitted it to him. We put in there's a part where he actually swung in from underneath and surprised his mom. You can see it in the preview. But they handled the tree so well, and it ended up being such a beautiful piece on the stage. Oh, here, I'm going to send. Something. Oh, you can see the tree. It's so beautiful. So I was really, really proud of that tree. And the sets were we rented these drops from Utah Opera, my friend Jared, who helped us out. And those are the same drops we used in Secret Garden, Midsummer Night's Dream, and Into the Woods. They're some of my favorite drops I love to rent. So we put them all up there, and it was so beautiful. Another thing, Jesse, Lydia has brought, this is the model.
How much? I'll pay you for it. I don't have.
No, I want it.
I have maybe $5.
No, I'm debating in my heart what to do with this tree, but we'll decide later. But this is the model. I built it before to see if I could handle it. And there you go. And isn't it so beautiful? I love it. Anyway, they handled it really well. One thing, another interesting fact about Preston, I'd love to point out, thank you, Lydia, is in the book, he's barefoot. And so I told Preston about this. I'm like, I love that he's barefoot. He's just like Peter Pan, right? He's so sweet. The boy who never grows up, right? That was my whole season last year. Peter Pan. And so Preston did it barefoot. And Preston, tell me about, or should I let Nikki tell about the bare feet?
I'll tell about the bare feet because he complained the entire time.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was going to say, actually, if I may. Sorry.
Please do.
I had no complications. I barely even noticed.
Let's hear Nikki's version.
Just every time we came off stage, you'd be like, oh, my feet hurt. Oh, my feet hurt. And the funny thing is, the entire cast of Tarzan had bare feet and no one complained. But Preston, during Tuck, complained the whole time.
Sorry, was the entire cast of Tarzan running around doing all over the entire stage, on stage the entire time?
You didn't
Basically.
see it, did you?
I didn't see Tarzan. I couldn't make it.
Yeah, the entire cast was, yes. But we also took your tree and it became pieces of their tree because we had to build another tree for that one. And we had a big tree. It started with Peter Pan. The pieces went into that tree as well. So all kinds of tree. But I want to tell you this. There was a T carved into the trunk that Jessie carves a T into the trunk. I put a heart. I don't know why it's a T. Anyway, and that T I put in all 3 shows. So if you saw any of those 3 shows, you would, if you were looking for it, you would have seen the T in all 3 shows. So I know, super cute. Just kidding, Nikki. So I'm also curious. There was one time. Favorite moments in the play was Nikki would walk on this fence, and it was so brilliant. Like Nikki would do anything for me. She was this cute little tomboy, and she was in this huge fluffy dress that I love so much. Oh, look at her! She's so cute. Anyway, because she was just a little doll. I also made sure in her biography that I put she was a senior. She didn't write that in her biography that's what you call it. But I put it in because I wanted the audience to know that she really was 17. Anyway, Nikki's walking. Nikki, do you want to tell the story? It's so funny.
About how I fell off the fence?
Let's tell him what happened.
I wasn't walking across the fence at this time. Right. I was just sitting on it.
Right.
I think you could tell better because I just fell. That's all I remember.
Okay, so she's sitting on the fence, and all of a sudden, for some reason, she loses herself and she falls backwards off of the fence. So you just see her fall back. Did you land on your back? I don't know what you landed on. She landed on her back. Her feet just went and in her big poofy dress. If I could have scripted that and blocked it, I would have. It was so funny. And I think Nikki gets a little mad about my story because I enjoyed this moment so much. But
no, I'm not mad about it.
But it was so funny. I just laughed and laughed. I'm like, I'm so sorry I'm laughing. But I've never seen anything so commedia dell'arte in my life. It's so good. It was so good. But anyway, I enjoyed that.
And Toni had to stop the show for 15 minutes just to laugh at me.
It was so funny. But it was rehearsal too. So
yeah, it was rehearsal. I'm so glad it was not a performance.
No, Nikki was an absolute professional the whole way. And so was Preston. They were seriously a dream team to work with on the leads. A side note on Preston. Preston came into West Side Story going, I don't know how to dance. I'm usually the lead. Well, he didn't say it conceited like that. But when he was in high school, he usually played a lead part where people would dance around him. And so he's like, I don't dance. And I'm like, I think you do, mister. So he did West Side Story. And then when he came in, yes?
Anyone who's seen these 2 shows can attest, I don't know how to dance.
Me either.
I saw both of them, and they were both fantastic. I love them. How are those loads going for you, Logan? Sorry, I don't know.
Not well.
I'm like,
It's because I'm hosting all this that my internet's like,
Yeah.
but get it. It's okay. I was gonna put up this. People are okay. So Adria says, Nikki, I remember when you would sing 6 years from now, you will turn 23 instead of 17.
Yeah, all the little girls in the cast said I should sing that instead because I was 17.
Kelly says, Nikki, falling. So funny. Oh, I think it's so funny. That
It was so funny. A great.
Luckily, only two people saw it, so it's okay.
Oh, Jen showed her the tea.
Yeah. And then for some reason, Adria says you're a liar, Preston. I don't know why.
Probably about the feet.
Just in general, all the time.
Probably something. You've done a few lies now, so we're not sure which ones.
People are against you. Here's another
Oh,
issue of you two. Trying to find all the good pictures. Let's see. How about this one? There's Nikki.
Is she holding the frog, the toad? Yes.
Should we bring on the rest of the Tuck family so you can talk to them?
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Are you ready for this?
I don't know. Are we
It might be a little scary.
They're shaking their heads. No, I don't think you're ready. All right, here's Tanner.
Tanner.
And Ryan, and I'm going to take myself off so I can put Theresa on here. But you guys have to answer the same question. Favorite moment, okay? Toni's in charge.
Woohoo! Hi, you guys.
Here.
So I like doing their backstory. It's kind of fun to hear about the auditioning process, I think. And so what's funny is Michelle actually brought in Ryan. Like, we had very few men audition. God bless Spencer Willis. And so Michelle's like, I have this friend named Ryan. He's super funny. I think he could do the part. I'm like, are you sure? I don't know. Bring him in. And so then Ryan comes in at the very end of auditions, and he's amazing. And so I'm like, so trying to play it cool. Do you think this is something you could commit to? How interested are you? We'll throw in your daughter. You want your daughter to be in it? We'll put her in too. So, and we didn't realize how cool Allie was. That was a deal. Oh my gosh.
I should have been the add-in.
They're amazing. But Allie is the one in the preview, if you watch it, that does the back handspring. She's a gymnast. And so she's very, very good. Not just a gymnasticking, but all the things. So that was lucky that Michelle, thank you, Michelle, for bringing in Ryan. And Theresa, this was, I think, for me, my favorite role that you've ever done.
It's my favorite role also.
Yeah, you were the perfect May, especially with the chemistry of all of you. And then Tanner walks into an audition and you can't do anything but do the wave. You're like, Tanner's here. So when I had these four people, I'm like, wow, really, Tuck is going to be, well, and 5 with Nikki, but the Tuck family, when you 4 came into the audition, I'm like, this is where it is. These 4 are the ones. If you saw them in it, they were perfect in each of their roles. The tenderness, which Tanner, and also the playfulness. Sometimes I feel like, is his name Miles? Is that right? Miles?
Yeah.
The tenderness that I think Miles can be kind of cold and really aloof. And I really wanted the relationships to be super strong. And you and Preston, your fight between when you guys were fighting was so brotherly, love and confusion and anger. And the chemistry between you 4 was awesome. So let's turn it over to you guys. Tanner, what was your favorite part in this ditty?
Oh gosh. I didn't really have a favorite moment. One of my favorite moments was at the very end when May Tuck takes up a gun and bashes the man in the yellow suit over the head. And then as I'm walking around the back of him, the constable says, it's going to be death by the gallows. And I just say, no, it won't. And it was like this huge traumatic event had just happened. And for whatever reason, Miles thought it was a good idea to make a sarcastic comment. And it just totally exemplifies his character. And I really enjoyed that.
We don't want to do any spoilers, but really briefly, it's about basically Winnie Foster. She goes to, she meets up with Jesse, and Jesse finds a spring where if you drink from it, you live forever. And all 4 Tucks drink from the spring and they're going to live forever. So it's the question if Winnie is going to drink from the spring and live forever with Jesse. That's basically the story. All right, Ryan.
I think the thing that I love the most about it was kind of the little bits of real life that you could see in each of the characters. Angus is a fantastic character because he's just kind of your quintessential dad. You know, he's there, and really it's May that's running the family. Let's be real. That's in my family too. My wife, who's watching, she really runs things for us too. And I think that was what I liked most about him. I've played characters in the past that were really fun. I was Donkey in Shrek, and that's a super fun character, but there's not a lot of realness to it. And this one, even though we're a family that lives forever, I loved how real our relationships were, and how much I could see of my relationship with kids when Tanner would sing his song, and the relationship with Theresa as my wife. It would just, I loved that connection and that feelings that I could get as we went through the whole show. I don't know that I had one in particular that stuck out.
I have a couple that I really loved for you. One was, Time Tanner, of course, was, awesome for you. I love that one.
Yes.
Ryan, for you, it was when you got shot in the butt. What is your line? I'm sorry, he might have to swear just one word, but there was one where he's like, what do you say? It's so funny.
Oh, it's because I think it's because I swore at Tanner, and then I stood up and said, "Oh, May, everybody swears when they get shot in the butt."
Because Jesse accidentally shoots him in the butt. He trips and shoots him, and Winnie has no idea what's going on. She doesn't know these kids are living forever, and so just how casual it was.
Yeah.
Swears when they get shot in the butt.
Uh-huh.
And then the other one was my favorite was when you're in the boat with Winnie. I'm so sorry, I didn't review this before. But what's the song? I know this song.
The Wheel.
It's a wheel. It's a wheel. I love how you sang that. I love Ryan Bring. All four of these characters were so good. I would put them up against any other actor on how genuine and how sweet and how real and how well they told the story. But you told that story just so good. And Winnie, didn't you drive that boat well?
No, I did not.
We had a remote control boat and we had to drive it.
It would just turn off for no reason, and I didn't know what was happening half the time.
Yeah, it was so scary.
And then I think maybe the best part of the boat was the one night where the wheels locked up.
Yeah. Oh, because it got caught in a bunch of tulle underneath it, and it just stopped.
Heavy
and would not go.
So she's looking at me with this terrified look on her face, like, I can't move us. We're not going to be able to move. And we finished the scene and we're like trying to scooch us and like Fred Flintstone the boat, and it was just not happening.
And Jacob Barry like lifted it up and brought it off stage.
Uh-huh. That boat.
Tarzan, we didn't rent that boat again. I mean, it's a great boat. Sandy, but it was so difficult.
Yes,
It scares me a little bit.
Yeah, it was a little scary. So we're like, for Tarzan, we're just going to use our go-to boat.
The boat scares me more than the silo scares me.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Oh, Jacob Barry.
There it is.
The boat broke down and we had to muscle it off stage. Top 5 crew spur the moments. That's so awesome. Hi, Kathy. It was hard. The Wheel is my favorite song. Yeah.
I love that song.
Absolutely agree. All right, May, bring it out. What did you love?
It's hard to pare it down to just one, so I think I'll go 3.
I didn't know we could do that.
Following directions. But as discussed before, that first read through, the way that we bonded as a family so quickly by the end of that night, it was like we'd been a family our whole lives. It clicked so fast, and like we've already mentioned, it's kind of rare to have it happen that quickly. And just to hop back on this, the second I saw everybody's faces before the live even started, it was like we were right back there again. Yeah, like the feelings are I still love you guys so much. And I miss, like, my mom heart is like, almost bursting right now. Because this was such a monumental experience that we all shared. As for on stage,
I was just saying how cute you were. I was like,
I loved doing the story of the Tucks just because that was a really fun song, and it was as close to rapping as I'll probably ever get.
Group rapping.
Yeah.
Right? But it was just such an adventure to be like, okay, can we get all this? Is like the entire plot exposition is happening in this song.
Well, and that was really close to Your Fault and Into the Woods. That's
Right?
kind of victory when you get it.
Seriously. And so that was just such an adventure as an actor to be able to do that. But then probably another one of my very favorite memories is while everybody was on stage doing the story of Winnie and crying their eyes out and all of that stuff, the four of us were back in the stairwell being such goofballs. And those are actually some of my favorite moments, was being absolute silent because, you know, we didn't want the audience to hear us. But that was just hanging out backstage with my Tuck boys is probably some of my favorite stuff.
Okay, but let's tell them why they were goofing off. They weren't being like rude. It's all about life, that story of Winnie. We'll talk about more of that later, maybe we'll bring it on and stuff. But it was so sentimental.
I was trying to not cry.
Right. It was so sentimental that it was actually hard for the Tucks to watch that scene. So they would distract themselves with each other so that when they came in, they were okay and not.
And we were really good at it, is the thing.
We were okay-ish because the scene we walked into wasn't a whole lot easier than that.
Yeah, and then we did some crying. In fact, speaking of that, now yet another favorite memory is the hug at Winnie's grave when Miles at the very beginning of the film, when I see him, he won't give his mom a hug, and it's been 10 years, and I'm like, come on, son, I need a hug. And it just shows the progression. It's been 80, 90 years or something, and we come back and see Winnie's grave, and Miles is there, and he gave me such a great hug. And wow, I mean, talk about, like, we're not even acting at this point, and I'm crying, and that was such a good moment.
That was a great moment.
That was I take back my first moment. That was my favorite moment.
Because Logan, do you have Winnie at the grave? Like, I think I had a picture, but I'm not sure if it's it was
Maybe, I don't know.
It was such a sweet one.
Well, but also it was like Mama T and I've known each other since I was 15 years old. And
the one that gave me the Mama T nickname.
Yeah, and I gave her the Mama T nickname, and she was in my first show I ever did. And we became really good friends, and she took me on a ride in her Camaro, and we became such good friends. And so to be able to have that moment with her now, at that point, 7 years later, and just like see the progression that we both had gone through, it was really, really special for me.
You know what's funny is between you and Preston, Tanner and Preston, you guys didn't know each other before the show, did you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and it was so funny because we were doing the story of the Tuck, or not the story of the Tucks, the opening, the prologue. It was so funny when you first blocked it. It was like I only had one of you every time. I never had both of you at the same time. And so the first time we actually did that thing and both of you were there, I'm like, oh, this is so heavenly. Because my mind, I could see it. But, you know, I would usually be one of you, and I'm not as cool as you guys. And but the first time you guys came up and you were like balancing each other on stage, I was like, oh, this is, it's going to be so great. It's
High five, Preston.
Oh, this is going to work.
Oh, boy. Not bad. Not bad.
Love that.
Oh, I love that one. This is.
I love Mama T's face. Oh, it's so great.
Let's say your line. It's one of the best lines.
Can we keep her?
Yeah.
Can we keep her?
Sorry, I stole it. I totally stole it. I'm sorry.
How dare you?
He's like, can I keep her? It's a little girl, like a little puppy. Why wouldn't I be able to keep her? And I love Miles's face. He's like, you're the stupidest boy I've ever met. Every time Jesse would talk, Miles is just like, can you just shut up?
Shut up, Jesse.
Before I could even talk, Miles was just.
I was just looking to be like, no, don't. No.
Well, even in the story of the Tucks, it was so fun to block you two because I really want that. Remember that brother relationship. And so I think you face palmed Jesse at one point, and yeah, it was so great. Really, really fun. Oh, hi, Logan.
Sorry, I have to take someone out. Well, should we have a video or a live performance? Which one do you want?
Oh my God. Oh, you choose. Surprise
Toni,
it.
sing live. Toni, sing live.
I think Toni should no.
Everlasting.
Toni's going to now.
Wait, before we move on, speaking of singing though, another moment I just loved on stage was with the four of us that are here, and we got to sing the Time Reprise. And 4-part harmony song, and we killed it, and it was
That was gorgeous.
It was so beautiful. I love
Gorgeous.
that song. And poor Jesse was sulking in his tree.
We need
Embrace
to be protected.
we're all having our sulking moments. Like we
Hey,
were all,
can't Nikki tell her goodbye?
So Preston, I have to say though, for not knowing what this part was, after you did the part, what do you think about it?
What do I?
Oh, you offended him.
Touch? Oh, geez.
What did it mean to you?
No. Oh, I honestly loved it because in my day-to-day life at that point, didn't let myself be a kid who just had fun,
Mm-hmm.
And that was just one of the few things that I just absolutely treasured. Things didn't have consequences. You could do whatever you want. You could just do what was fun, and I needed that.
I think you were just brilliant as all of you in your parts. But Jesse was one of those ones that had to be just perfect.
Why are you commenting?
Grumpy Tanner's commenting.
It was like Inception.
Yeah, but anyway, I was just so grateful. And you'll get to meet Isaac in a little bit, but I just want to say that I made it really tough for the audience to decide who they wanted Winnie to be with in the end, because Jesse was so amazing and Hugo was so amazing as well. So you're welcome, audience. You're welcome.
Amen. Let's hear someone sing. Tanner, will you sing for us?
Yeah.
Sure. Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to take people off.
All right.
Oh, look,
I
Nathan's
gotta make this
singing.
work really quick.
sing for me.
Yeah. Nathan, Phantom.
Oh my gosh. No, I'll totally sing for Nathan. Hands down.
Nathan Tarzan.
Oh, no. All right, take it away, Tanner.
Playing from Tanner's iPhone.
Oh. All right, let's do it. I haven't sung this a long time. I had a farmhouse with a grandfather clock where I would teach time to my son. Our lessons began at 12 o'clock sharp, when the hens would come in as one. I'd say the big hen counts minutes, it's so tightly wound. It chases the small hand to make hours go round. I taught Thomas constellations in the sky, to tell a silver maple from a cottonwood. I taught Thomas to divide and multiply, but what he never understood was time. As I watched him grow, time. He would never know time where my regret resides. Time, if I only knew the what and how and who that time truly divides. There was a farmhouse with a grandfather clock, where one day I woke up alone. They feared I was magic, they feared I was cursed, but mostly they feared the unknown. The big hands, the father, the small one, the son. And there never came a time where they came back as one. I taught Thomas how to catch a firefly, how to make a pebble skip and rowboat skim. She took Thomas and never said goodbye. The one thing I could never give to him was time. Time. I'm left with nothing but time.
Oh, Tanner. So good.
I love you.
We love you.
I love you guys.
Preston said in his comments that he was crying, so.
Oh, Preston.
No,
Ryan, did you cry?
Maybe a little. Wait, hold on.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful. May, you
two of them.
Say that again, Toni.
your song was also very beautiful. Your song was really tricky for me. I remember going into it and I told you how much I hated it.
You did. I really appreciate it.
It was one song that I saw it twice and I still just did not like this song. What's it called again?
Beautiful Day. Beautiful Day.
Oh, that Beautiful Day. And anyway, so I told Theresa, I says, I am so sorry that you have the song I hate the very most.
Yeah, no pressure.
I loved all the songs. I really loved all the songs except this one.
Yep.
But that's my problem. You know what I mean? I needed to figure that out and really learn to love it. And so I remember Theresa saying, I'm going to be the person who changes your opinion of this song. Yeah, I know. And
Did it work?
Yes, of course it did. It was so beautiful. And I think one thing that helped is we brought in the doubles. We brought in Tanner and we brought in Mara. And they became the younger people. I think what always bugged me is we see these older people falling in love again. And it was, I mean, I know that you fall in love, but it's an older love. It's not a new love. And to see you guys witnessing your youthful selves fall in love, I think was just so poignant and so beautiful to just watch you remember without having to be the people remember. You know?
It seemed a lot more like a memory rather than a reenactment.
Yes, yes.
And I thought it worked really well.
Yeah, and Mara and Tanner worked so hard because I think Mara, how old were you? You were like 14, but you look like you're 17.
Uh-huh.
It was super, super beautiful in it. But anyway, kudos to May for making that song super beautiful. I think the other shout out is when we did the prologue. I just want to put it out that you guys had to turn around this amazing house. Like we built the Tuck house and it seriously was amazing. Thank you very much. But it was huge. It was so huge. And the cast would bring it out like it was like music. It was choreography, choreographed staging and moving the sets and stuff. And you, ensemble, in the ensemble of Tuck, you were amazing, whether it was moving on sets, whether it was doing the dancing, the day-nas. We kept saying, you're the joy, you're the feeling in this. And seriously, without the ensemble in this one, being as beautiful as you were, Tuck could never have been what it was. So anyway, just a big shout out to you, the ensemble, because it's gorgeous. And Kelly costumed them so brilliantly too. Like
Kelly! Yay, Kelly!
Right, because I really felt like it was families that had gone, families that were coming, families that just families. It was just families. However you want to think about families.
Kelly, awesome.
Yes, she was the super best. Anyway, and so it became very much about the families and what is life. And they were all in these white outfits that were just so beautiful whenever they danced. And anyway, I cannot thank all those people so much. The crew that helped build it all. I mean, it takes so many people to do it. I want you all to come here right now and let's build a play and hear it.
Okay.
I'm in. Just kidding, Joff, don't come. Hello, Tanner.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, don't Joff will go to the theater.
I'll be there in 45 minutes.
We won't.
6 minutes. I got it.
Oh my gosh. Toni, do you have special stuff for us or?
Okay, are we gonna do that now?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so Logan and I had an idea. Okay.
That's scary.
Logan and I are kind of like free to do whatever we want right now. And we're like, let's try this. So I told Logan, I says, would it be fun to like do an auction? Like take some of the props from the show and like auction them off. And so I'm going to grab the first one. I'll have Lydia be my Vanna. And maybe Logan, maybe you could tell him how we're going to work the auction. How's this going to work?
Yes. Okay. So I'm thinking I'm going to put a picture of these up on the Kensington Theater Facebook page, and then you can comment and bid out each other. And then Toni will decide when we're going to be done. And then you just get a Venmo, the Kensington Venmo. That's easier than like sending it to you. And then we'll like figure out how to drop it off from a safe distance in the future. Okay.
Well, can we yell at you, or do you want us to comment on the Facebook Live? Or is this for people that aren't on right now? What's happening? I want things.
No. Toni's going to send me a picture, or maybe I'll screen grab a picture.
Yeah, we're going to bring it on right now because I didn't, because I wasn't sure. Hey, and I'm just putting it, I gave you the little toy box, didn't I? The little jewelry.
No.
Oh, you did? I can't find it. No. I could, in your hearts, put that, because I thought I gave it to you because I couldn't find it. So.
My music box?
Yes, your music box.
Music box?
It wasn't really a music box. But that is one. Maybe when we're doing another thing, I will go and see if I can look one more time because I thought, well, maybe I can't find it because maybe I gave it to May. But apparently I did not. So this is the first one. It's kind of fun. We had some ideas at the where we did the fair. We needed a whole bunch of fun things happening, going on. And so this is one of the fun things that we found. Lydia is going to come and show us. These are these special magical rings. And Lydia will display. You want me to take this? These were, can you spin them?
They're spinning.
Can you see that? So these are the magical rings that we spun. I'm a sweater on right now. Okay, here she goes. Anyway, they would go up and down, and then she would throw them up and catch them, and then she'd put it on. So her and Allie worked these things like none others. So we have two of these special. If you tap them, they pop up too. Isn't that amazing? So two of the special Carnival fair rings. So Logan, how are we going to do this?
I was going to say, have Lydia or send me a picture, just one picture, and then I'm going to put them on the Facebook, and then people can start bidding for how much they want, and then to whoever wins.
On the Facebook page?
Yeah, Kensington Facebook. Nathan says $500 in Monopoly money.
It has to be real money. Real money.
When you bid, you are. Oh, there I go. Hide and go seek. Bye. You can still kind of see me. It's like you're wearing, your glasses are off. Oh, there we go.
Okay. So that is the first item. Do I keep going, or do you want to
do? Let's do one more, and then we'll do another one at the end, so people have to stick around.
This is also from the carnival, Lydia. So one thing that's really super cute here, Lydia's going to come in with it. One thing that's also super cute in the carnival was the cast actually helped us create different things, different ideas. And one of these is the carameled apples. This was very exciting that they could eat these carameled apples. So we put these sticks in them, and I took wax and dripped it all over to make it look like a carameled apple. Yeah. And these kids would make it look like it was so delicious when it was actually kind of gross. But we have one carameled apple up for auction. This too could be yours. Catch the magic.
Okay, so Lydia or Toni, send me a picture, and then for those of you who are watching or on the live stream that might want it, we have other stuff too, and they're going to be good. So you want to stick around. If you want to buy these, you can start bidding on the Facebook page for how much. And Toni, when should our auction end?
I don't know. Don't you think by the end of the live stream?
Sure.
I mean, we could do it that fast. I think that's fair. It's the people who know about it, right?
All right. So if you want it, I would go start bidding now.
Okay, so we're going to put these two up as soon as I can get these. Logan, can I be stupid and just send it to you? Because
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yep. You may do that.
Dang technology.
Well, Logan's just faster than me.
Oh, I don't know about that. While we're doing all this, let's watch the videos that Toni sent me that I got uploaded, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. I know. I finally got them. It's of 17. So this is Nikki and Preston. Oh, I should put Preston on the screen. Where's I'm taking one of you off.
Take me off.
Oh, you got to stay. Lucky. I just relay everybody. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. It's this one right here.
I'll wait for you till you turn 17. Turn 17, same age as me. 6 years from now, go to the sea, roll to the spring, and drink.
Yay!
I actually have that whole number. It's like one of the few things I kept. Usually I just delete it after I'm done, just because I'm not supposed to have all that footage, right? And I don't want to like my. But for some reason I have all of 17. I don't know why till the finale.
Toni, I need it.
Yeah, I know. Like I think I would feel comfortable just putting that one up. So I'll download the whole thing for you guys and we'll put it up.
Oh,
I mean, we're not in it, Ryan, but that's fine.
I still love it.
Dragon. I was a good
Still singing while we watch, so it's fine.
Yeah. What do you say, Winnie? Do you want to live forever? I love it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Should we switch out and bring on some other people, and then we'll have you guys come back?
That
What?
was the silo, the infamous silo that Winnie and Preston had to climb on top of, and they would move them when they were on top at the end. They climbed it to get onto, but then they had to lay down flat on the top. And as we wheeled them off, because if I remember right, it was 12 feet tall, the silo.
Preston, do you remember when I almost fell off while climbing up it?
Preston,
You're
you're
muted.
Oh, hold on, I muted him.
Sorry, wait, there you go.
Sorry, I tried to also unmute me while he unmuted me. Yes, it was terrifying, and I was always scared of that ladder. Anyway, good times.
It was
Good times.
But it looked beautiful. Come on. That looked beautiful.
Fantastic.
Right? It was so great. Anyway, thank you for daring to go on the silo.
Anything for you, Toni?
Okay, so we switch out. I'm posting right now. So if you're watching, I just posted the caramel apple. I'm going to put the rings on. But let's transition so I have more time and other people can talk. All right. Goodbye, Preston. Goodbye. Stay around. We'll bring you back. Bring you back. Okay, bye. All right. Let's bring on. Should we do the dynamic duo, Spencer?
Oh, guys.
Isaac. Oh my goodness. Oh, there he is.
Look at you. What in the world is behind you? Is this your shoe rack?
You're muted, Isaac. Just FYI.
Unmute
Unmute yourself.
Hello. Hi. Yes, lots of shoes. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Sonny boy.
Good to see ya.
See you too.
I missed ya. How you been? You look young. You look youthful.
Oh, thank you.
Dynamic duo. Is that what they're calling us?
You guys are fun. Like I said, God bless Spencer Willis, because I believe, if I remember right, he was probably the only man that actually signed up for the audition. We found others, but yeah. And
that's us.
He was so cute. And Spencer is actually really great. He's so good. I don't know. Can I tell him that
Absolutely.
you're Tabernacle Choir at Temper Square or something like that?
We call them the Tab Cats now.
The Tab Cats.
Oh, nice.
Spencer's part of the Tab Cat, so he's got this really beautiful voice. And the beautiful thing about Spencer too is he has this I don't know how much you want to call it. It's almost like being naive. Like he feels like a child. He's so, he's so sweet. I just love it about him. He's so willing to work, and he doesn't have any pretenses. He's just who he is. And Isaac was really fun. Sorry, you're over here. Isaac was new. This was his first show we had ever done. And I didn't know anything about him. He did great in the auditions. In fact, he was almost the man in yellow.
Oh gosh.
I know.
That would have been fun.
I know. But you ended up being Hugo, which is kind of an isolated character. And I think it ends up being a character that kind of flies under the radar. And at the very end, you're like, wait a minute, what just happened? And so I told this to Isaac. I'm like, hey,
he kind of swoops in.
Team Hugo. And so I told Isaac, I said, it's so important that we love you from the very beginning. One, we recognize that you're there. And we love you from the very beginning, because when Nikki has to make her choice, we can't hate you because she doesn't go with Jesse. Sorry, spoiler. And so you can see that we had like Team Hugo, Team Jesse, because they were both, it was like Twilight. You couldn't decide which one you loved more. And
I'm Team Jesse, but myself, that's just me.
Team Jesse's a great team. Anyway, Hugo, I mean, your Hugo was just so adorable. And you together, when you sang your song together, look how cute you are. I loved your outfit.
Just a man.
And you were so polished and so worked, and it was so cute. Isaac would help Spencer. Doesn't think he's a very good dancer, which he actually is just fine. He's not.
He's great. He's so good.
I know. And so Isaac would coach him off stage and help him with the choreography. He became his dance captain. It was so cute.
That's the two of us in our little choreography.
So Spencer, what was your?
He was so sweet. Like he would always come up to me, just like really like kind of sheepishly. He's like, "Hey, can we go over this again?" I was like, "Absolutely, let's do this. Let's go." And like I had so much confidence in him every time. Like I didn't think he needed it, but like he did. He was great. Not like he really made it happen.
Well, and I think one of the surprises was your song ended up being like one of the favorite songs in the show. Like people loved your, especially the cast. The cast like was enamored with your song, and it
was fun. I like that one.
It was so great, though. It was so great that it was so well loved because you guys worked so hard on it too. So, tell us your favorite part in that show we're talking about right now. Tuck.
My favorite part is probably one that I wasn't even expecting to be in. When my family and I went to Hale Center's production of Tuck Everlasting, we saw the story of Winnie Foster, and of course, bald, and just thought that was amazing. And the constable wasn't in that part in the production, and so hats off to Toni for just the way that entire scene went. It was, as people have mentioned, it was magical. It was emotional. My favorite part was being there on stage, part of that, and when Hugo turns around and me having my arms open to give him a great big hug. Tears were flowing freely. They were very
absolutely.
It wasn't acting at that point. I put myself in the constable's shoes. I put myself in as a father. All of that, and then of course I could hear everybody off stage bawling and sniffling, and it was the first time that we did that, as a cast, that's when it really sunk into me the magnitude of what we were doing, and it was just such a joy to be part of that.
Yeah, it was definitely an anchor that I was a little nervous to approach, but I thought that it was pulled up beautifully. In fact, let's do Hugo's favorite part, and then I think we should bring Lydia in and we could talk about the story of Winnie because it was so beautiful.
Please.
Yes, I'd say favorite part is either equally between two numbers. The first one being partner in crime, because initially Hugo's not really like a part of that number. Like, he's there with the constable and he's like, walking around doing his detective business, trying to be, the world's best detective, trying to find, the culprit. And then I got put into the dance, which works really well. It added for a really funny level when the constable would come in and see me dancing and be like, "Oh, hi, Dad." He'd be like, "Get over here." It was really, really funny. So I really enjoyed the fact that I got to be put in the actual dancing bit of that number. It was one of my favorite parts. Absolutely.
Well, and you're one of our best dancers.
Thank you.
He's so good.
I know I was a little bit bummed because I was really happy to get Hugo, and then I was like, I don't really get to do any of the fun dance numbers, and then we got to do that one. Thank you, Sarah. It's because of Sarah that I was in that number, so thank you very much. But then beyond that, the fun of that number was just the story of Winnie, which I think is the obvious answer, but just there's so much life that happens, and you really. It wraps the show in such this nice bow, this beautiful story of life and how it's lived and how it ends, and that's beautiful as well. And the moment where I got to hug Spencer, I got to hug my dad, was another, just like he said, I stopped being Isaac. I was Hugo. I saw my father who, throughout the entire show was kind of picking on me, but he was never a bully because, otherwise Hugo wouldn't love him as much as he did. There were lots of moments throughout the show where you noticed that the constable really did listen to what Hugo said, even if he kind of, brushed him off the whole time. So I had this, this great love for the constable, and just Spencer playing the constable and really getting to do that was such a joy. So that moment especially, and then ending it with all of us coming back to see Lydia, as the older Winnie. That was always such a beautiful moment. I held my breath the whole time. It was just so breathtaking and gorgeous. And of course, I cried off stage as well as everybody else.
Well, it was fun. Spencer, your relationship was very interesting too, because it is written for him to be kind of very condescending and mean to you. But Spencer's not that way. I don't know that he could say a word and make us really believe that. But that was so nice about Spencer, the innateness. Sometimes you want the character just to be innately a certain way. And because he was so innately gentle, that those lines didn't ever come off too much for me. Because Spencer was always such a genuinely beautiful person anyway. Here,
they're written in a way where they could be really harsh.
Yeah, no, right? They were mean. But hey, come in, Lydia. I didn't put Lydia on there. Sorry, Lydia.
Hi, Lydia. Hi, wife.
I don't know, and I'm sorry. This is kind of a spoiler if you haven't seen Tuck Everlasting, but we're talking about it. Most of you, I feel, probably were part of the production. But at the very end, Winnie sings Everlasting, and she has to make this choice. Is she going to drink or is she going to live a life? And I wish I could remember, maybe Ryan can remember the line. Is it Ryan that says, it's never truly being alive? You say it on the boat. Is Ryan? Let's put Ryan in first. Ryan, do you know which line I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know if I know word for word, but it's something to the effect of, don't be afraid of living, Winnie. Be afraid of not being truly alive.
Yeah, don't be afraid of dying, Winnie.
Of dying, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, be afraid of not being truly alive.
Yes, and so Winnie takes this wisdom from Ryan, the character, and she actually has to make a choice. So in 10 minutes, we show you the rest of Winnie's life. And so Nikki's in it very briefly at the very beginning with her and Hugo, Abbott, and then Lydia comes in and replaces Nikki, and she's the big Winnie, so she had to wear a wig. Oh, look at that. Yeah, and it's funny is I took Jesse. Can you go back to the other picture? Go right before the other.
Baby.
Look, can you see right in the very back by the tree? Preston's standing there. Yeah, he's standing. But it was really hard when I first did the story of Winnie. I didn't want Preston in it at all because I felt like Preston or Jesse's character kind of usurps the story a little bit. Because I'm like, it's not about Jesse and Winnie anymore. It's about Hugo and Winnie now. But I got so much crap about that. Like people who watched and rehearsed Winnie's story, they'd always say, "Where's Jesse? I want to know about Jesse." And then so I put him in subtly there, and the people kept saying, "Where's Jesse?" I'm like, "He's right there. I put him in." And so finally, I had him coming in. There's one where he's standing at the very back. I don't know if you have that picture. He's standing at the very back, like he just barely entered the stage. And so I made a really big entrance, and then he comes running straight through everybody and jumps into the audience. And I'm like, I tried to make it super obvious, and people were still like, "Where's Jesse?" And I'm like, I've done what I can, people.
It's never enough.
I know. But anyway, so basically Winnie and Hugo, it shows their love story. And it had to be so genuine and beautiful. And so Hugo and Lydia, Isaac and Lydia, were genius. How they aged through it, and they worked so meticulously on how they used their bodies to tell the story and to grow old. And Lydia, maybe you can talk about, because I know this is probably your favorite part in Tuck. But tell us about your experience with Winnie, because it was glorious.
Man, that was amazing. It's definitely my favorite. Even though I was only on for 10 minutes as older Winnie, it was my favorite part I've ever played. I absolutely loved it. I loved dancing with Isaac. I loved being with the whole ensemble, and I loved dancing with Nikki, and just like the whole story and having to age so quickly, but also kind of felt slow. You know, it was so interesting to be able to play 3 different ages in the time.
Yeah, I really loved getting to be like old and dancing together. Like we had done a dance before when we were younger, and then when we did it again as we were older, and we were like, more gentle with each other, but there was so much love and such a story behind it. It felt so good.
Yeah, well, it was also fun because Isaac and I got to choreograph it. Like it was actually our dance because we choreographed.
Well, Lydia got to choreograph it. I listened to what she said, and I said, "Okay."
Of it.
Yeah, and then if something, Isaac would be like, "How about this?" And it was just, it was so good.
Like 2 times, maybe.
Give yourself more credit.
Yeah.
But my favorite part of the whole thing was right after I let go of Isaac's hand, which symbolized that he died, right? And I would
Still hurts.
crying, and I would fall to the ground and be on my knees, and I would listen to the audience and hear sniffles. That was fun. But then right after, I would get up and I would walk back to the center stage, and then the whole ensemble would come and circle me, and they would just start dancing, and I just got to smile and just look at all these people that had affected my character's life, and when Nikki had played with them, she set me up so perfectly that everyone just already loved me when I entered the stage. I didn't even have to do any work. Nikki did it all for me.
No, and then right after that, Nikki and Lydia both did a silhouette dance where they were doing the same thing, and then Nikki left, and Lydia, sorry, makes me cry even thinking about it. But when her and Hugo reunited, and it was so beautiful. In fact, didn't Dad greet you? Because Winnie's dad had died in the story.
That's right.
Right. So I wanted Dad to be there because basically when they died, I had whoever loved them greet them. So they turned around and they hugged somebody who had passed before them. And so I really wanted a dad to be there to greet Winnie because she hadn't seen him for so long. And so, I'm going to cry. So Paul, my husband, her dad, of course, was the person who greeted her. And then Hugo. What did Hugo
first?
I think it was Paul first.
It was first Hugo.
It was Hugo first?
Hugo touched my shoulder.
Oh, right.
And then I passed her on to her father.
Oh, man, the moment I felt you touch my shoulder, I could just feel, it was just so exciting.
It was so beautiful. That whole Winnie story was such a joy to be able to create because just the weddings and the births, Like just yes, the baby. I loved her baby dance and the moms. We would anytime someone was telling a story, the ensemble would reinforce it based on the experience. So all the mothers danced with Lydia at that point, or when the children were celebrating, the children would dance with whoever it was on stage, or the dads would dance. And I loved when you guys also Bennett. When he grew up, she goes around the stage and goes up to the ramp, and you come in with Bennett on your shoulders.
On my shoulders, my son.
Mm-hmm. And it was
you recorded this.
it was seriously such. It was just they wrote it so beautifully that this montage at the end. Just kudos to the people who wrote Tuck Everlasting the musical, because they embraced the story and translated it into something. They, like I said, they take theater's medium and they made something beautiful with theater. And the book is beautiful, but they made musical theater beautiful, and they used dance to create this montage, and just so beautiful. Anyway, let's see.
Well, that's what I was going to say. This whole end is very well written. Well, I mean, and of course Lydia and all this was so, but it was Paul Butler, that when Paul Butler was standing at the back of the stage and she's dying, and all of a sudden I don't remember it spotlighted on Paul. In my head I was like, not Paul, I love Paul. I can't watch her go back to Paul. I'm crying. So it was the fact that these characters, I mean, you've done it a lot, you've done it in Les Mis. It's just like it makes sense, but like having them return to these characters, like a character, and the dad we don't ever see, he's not in the show, but you gave him a part in the show, and it made that moment even more special. And of course I think it was even more because everybody loves Paul, and when it came up on Paul I was like, dang it, Toni, why did you put Paul? Now I'm gonna cry.
Again, Paul is in one other part too. I'm trying to remember.
Time.
Yeah, Time. There you go.
And I thought, oh, that's beautiful, and I'm okay, and then didn't think I'd see him again, and then everybody's dying, and here comes Paul again, and then the waterworks. Yeah, okay.
He was crying when I went to hug him. He made me cry even harder because his eyes would be like bright blue because he was just crying. It's so sweet.
And I love that the cast loved that moment too. Like they would just be in the wings, absolutely supporting the show. You just know a show is good by how much the people love the show.
Yeah.
And they loved it.
Yeah, I think it definitely happens often in numbers like that, where if you're not on stage, you'll like go wait in the green room, but like almost the entire cast, the entire number, even when they weren't needed, they were sitting there watching it every single night. And that was beautiful.
It was beautiful, and I love that it bookended with the prologue, because the prologue is so beautiful. And like I said, I had never seen it, so I didn't even know what it was supposed to be. And then I'm like, oh, I get it. I get the bookends, because when I saw the story of Winnie on Broadway, I was like, wow, this is truly beautiful. And anyway, just the genius of how these guys wrote Tuck Everlasting. It's so good.
Yeah.
It was genius to sell tissues at concessions. I can say that.
We saw
and they sold.
Tuck tissues.
I love it. Hey, should we bring on the last person we haven't talked to? I should have brought him on a long time ago, but
yes,
a man dressed in yellow.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi, Greg.
Thanks for welcoming me on. I'm not really part of the family, but I had I don't know, being in the opposition in the show.
Yeah, we have to have the villain on, of course. There's Greg.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love how huge you are.
Greg,
I fill up space.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
6'4". Yeah, we had a really tall cast in this one. Like Spencer was 6'1", 6'2"?
3.
6'3". And Isaac Trio, you're like 5'11", 6 feet, aren't you?
I'm like 6 foot, yeah.
6 feet, yeah.
Banana.
One bad banana.
You're an evil banana.
So Greg, tell us about playing this character. I mean, everybody else has like these beautiful, but you have to be the character that is like, you are not a very likable guy in this, but you have a purpose. So that you're not like so far out of reach. Talk about playing the man in the yellow suit.
Yeah, my experience with it was really unique because I tried to maintain the dynamic with the cast to kind of like, especially like the chorus, like backstage, I would just like scowl at them and like have funny little jokes, and they'd make fun of my suit and all that. But just to being such like a sour part of such a beautiful story, I don't know, I had to just kind of focus on my role as far as just like creating that contrast and filling my part in order to kind of just make the Tuck victory that much sweeter. So it was really cool to kind of have the fun carnival and have the teenagers be my cronies and be my backup and have the fun little dance numbers and just the interactions.
Your backup dancers were awesome.
That and great choreography. This was just kind of embracing the greatest showman spectacle and trying to do my best Hugh Jackman.
It was fun with the choreography. Sarah Sherbel and I both choreographed. And so I had Sarah, because she's really good at like folk dancing and stuff like that. She handled most of the choreography, but I did all the choreography for the carnies, is what we call them. All the carnies, because choreography has a thumbprint on it where it feels like a certain person, right? And I wanted the thumbprint of the carnies to be completely different than the thumbprint from the Dainana people. And so mine was more Fosse-esque and abrasive and sharp. And it worked out so beautifully. I love the contrast between Sarah's choreography and my choreography.
Yeah, that picture looks really cool because I was in the front of the formation, I honestly never saw anything that was going on behind me, but I knew I could trust Toni to make it look good.
Oh, they were spot on. Those kids are awesome.
Yeah. Greg, what was your favorite part of the show? It doesn't have to be your character, but your favorite part.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I had a really cool experience in the callbacks. I kind of got I got invited last second to come in, and I had a really cool experience singing "Time." So that in callbacks, that song really resonated with me as like an older brother, and just kind of thinking about my younger sisters and kind of that bond. So it's really special to have such. I mean, to have themes, just kind of thinking about what's important in life and reflecting on the people that mean the most to you is really special.
I remember when you auditioned because he came in because I really needed a man in yellow, and he had played Diesel for us in West Side Story. Of course, he was brilliant there too. And so I knew he was perfect for the man in yellow. But when he did sing "Time," I wasn't looking at him for that, but he sang it so sincerely and so genuinely. But I knew that how the people were falling and how it was placing our strongest cast was to make him the man in yellow. And it really broke his heart a little bit that he really wanted to own this song and sing it because it meant so much to him. I remember how tender it was. And my compliment to you, Gregory, for accepting the role, because your heart wanted to be somewhere else, but for the sake of our show and letting it be what it needed to be, you graciously accepted the man in yellow, and I can't thank you enough for that.
And people are commenting, I mean Kelly, his suit, how did he pull this off? And when they would drag him off the stage in his suit, I would die.
Okay, but somebody was supposed to make his suit. I can't remember the story exactly, but they fell through. But it was fell through at the last moment. And so somebody, Kelly can remind me who it was, somebody came in and was like, well, I could probably help you with that. And so just at the very last moment, we got his suit in. It was a pretty scary one. So that's why when we finally got it and then they would drag him, I'm like, I'm sorry, but he's dead. I don't know what else to do. And they can't lift him. Like, what do we do?
Yeah, I've never died in a show before. I've died since, but that was the first show I had died in. And I mean, kudos to Miles and Jesse for just dragging me off every night. It was, I mean, and Theresa for like killing me. That whole set. That was the not highlight, but just like that was done really well. Oh, my murderer! How are you?
Well, I think it's awesome that she had a shotgun and she didn't shoot you.
Mm-mm.
She hit you on the back of the head with the butt of the gun. And yeah, but
let's make it so it's unintentional.
Right. It was just very much heat of the moment. I am Mama Bear protecting my family. I had to do what I had to do. But that's the first and only time I've ever intentionally or unintentionally murdered anyone. So thanks, Gregory.
Oh,
So Gregory, his background is actually in opera. So he's this really fabulous singer. You don't need a mic on that boy.
Yeah, it's been really fun, especially with Kensington, to just kind of make a foray into kind of musical theater and pursue that new style, and just kind of type-wise playing all these like older, scary, kind of dark characters and singing kind of lower than I'm used to, but just kind of finding my place in as like man in the yellow suit. And I mean, I've missed like doing a show with Kensington. I've kind of had like I have my eye out for the next opportunity, and it kills me so much to not be able to perform, but it's super cool to see y'all tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
Michelle says,
"Make your face. Let's see it."
Yeah. Isaac, make the face when. Hello, Isaac.
You told me to stop doing it. I don't remember it. It was
frozen.
It was.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, am I back? Am I here?
Yeah.
I lost you guys for a sec. I remember Toni says I'm great at upstaging when I shouldn't. So I used to make this face after he was shot, and you know, like it's a big it's a tense moment. You know, there's a dead body on the ground, and then I make this face I look away and I go. I'm cowering behind Spencer, and I show enough to see my face, and I did that, and the audience would laugh, and so it would really break the tension that was going on. So Toni told me to cut it, but it was really funny until then.
Well, he's so good, and like Isaac never ever intentionally upstages. He really doesn't.
I try not to.
I know the man has charisma, and he knows how to work on stage, and so I have to constantly guard to make sure the story's being told, because Isaac he'll keep pushing his character, which he should. He's amazing.
That's right. It was so
I
would cover it.
Okay, but
that's what it was. I had to dial it back. We didn't cut it.
No, we had you tame it, I think is what.
That's right.
But I loved your scene with Winnie after For Everlasting, because you had to just be in the whole scene with her singing.
Yeah.
But then we were setting you up to be the guy that we were going to be happy with, right? So I tried to be do as many things as I possibly could do to make you be the nicest guy in the entire universe during that song.
How many chivalrous things can we do in this one song?
and
help her up by stepping on your back.
I love that. I love that when you came running on, and maybe the audience didn't know it, but he was fending off a rodent.
Yes, I loved that. I don't know if anybody ever noticed it, but she kind of left me behind in the woods. So I just had my huge magnifying glass in my hand. And so she goes on for a couple seconds and I run in and I'm fighting off this rabbit or something. I don't know what it was. And then I'm like, oh, I'm okay. Whew, okay. Whew, be cool. You're cool. You're okay.
It was so sweet. I loved it. And then one of my favorite ones in that, because I was sitting close one time and I actually got to see it. You didn't do it every time because I looked for it after, but he would write in his book, his little Hugo's diary, and I think he put something like, "I love Winnie" or something like that.
Yes.
He would mouth it.
I thought that might be too much, so I didn't do it all the time.
It was so cute.
I would sit there and write it mouth it out "I love Winnie."
Speaking of that, do you want to do more auction items?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
All right.
Two more, right?
Yeah, we have two more. Well, we have three more.
Boy.
Find one.
Okay.
I have a suspicion.
I just put my phone on the tray. If anybody wants my phone. All right, here's the next item up for bid. This is Hugo's diary. Now let's open it up because I know it's just, I make sure I found the right one. And inside of it, you can see he wrote. Oh wait, where's it? Hugo. Dear me, today I saw a cute 11-year-old at a fair. A guy named Jessie Tuck. I hope she notices me. Turns out she is the my Winnie Foster. I saw my first case 6 years later. Winnie. Yes, there's like some pictures. You're not gonna laugh when you see this. Somebody else wrote in it, I guess. There's another one. If you can. You can't open a book. Oh, you can't open a book. How are you going to close a case? Open it. Heel click from Allie.
Oh.
Yeah, there's all these fun little things in here. My friends deserve to be punished. Lulu, what is that? You know the Muffin Man from Ginger, I guess. Anyway, let's see if anything else in here. I am your son, and it says Bennett.
Oh.
Yes, I am Bennett. P.S. I am your father. Anyway, I guess we're having a little argument there. Anyway, so this is Hugo's diary with my special pencil that I went and got.
The pencil was really nice.
Yeah.
That diary slowly became more of like a yearbook. Like a lot of the kids and there were so many kids in the cast, and they're all so like loving and sweet, and so all the time, all of them just wanted to write in the book. And so I was like, I don't know if you can do this, but it's really empty. So I'd like to see something. So a lot of it's just like the kids and what they wrote, like messages to leave me.
Well, it's up for bid, you guys. I am letting go of that.
I'm ready to fight.
Right?
With my wallet.
I just put it on Facebook. So if you would like to bid, go to Peter's Facebook.
I have maybe two more, but here's one for sure. This. This is the toad. Yep, this is the toad. He drank from the well, and he leads. Cute Lucas actually played the toad, like he was in charge of the toad, and so you can see it in a lot of pictures. But he's the one that led Winnie to the spring. And at the very end, Jessie finds the toad again because, well, he doesn't drink from the spring at first. Winnie actually gives her water that Jessie gives her to the toad. And so when they get to the graveside, he sees the toad again and recognizes it. Anyway, it's just a beautiful circle with the toad. Anyway, you guys, this is how much I love you guys. I'm letting you have some of these really amazing props from the show. So it's the toad. And
I just barely put that one on Facebook too, so go bid for it. I will say that the rings are going for $2 so far. So if you would like the rings, you can go bid for them.
They're super fun.
Yeah, and the caramel apple still has no bid, so you could be the lucky winner.
You can get it for
could be the winner.
There it is. But now the Hugo's Journal and the toad are now on Facebook.
These are hot items.
They are. And like I said, now that I know that May does not have the music box, I need to go back and find it. The toad.
I remember. Oh, wait, where'd it go? I remember when we couldn't find the Yod.
The
Yod. Hey. Oh, sorry, Toni, did you have something?
No. Go ahead.
You want to play Kensington questions, y'all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna pull myself out of it for a second so other people can play. Be more visual. I'll go see if I can find that box.
All right. Let's play the intro. It's so fun. Okay, so I'm going to put random people. Okay, so there's 6 of us on. Those of you who are not on, that I can see, if you know the answer or you think you know the answer, put your hand up in front of the camera and I will put you on the screen. We'll just cycle through. Okay, so Kensington questions. I'm going to put some questions on the screen and you guys get to decide who in the cast these questions are most like. You'll understand. It doesn't have to be just the people that are on the live stream. It can be anybody in the cast. Okay? Let's start back here.
Okay.
Who had the best costume? Anybody? Yeah, it might be Greg. Yeah.
Oh, come on, y'all didn't like my photo of a costume?
I know. His name in the show is a costume. Well, I'm happy with it. Right? All right, how about this one? Best dancer.
Lydia.
Lydia.
Best gymnast.
You, but yeah.
Lydia is the best dancer.
Yes.
Isaac, though.
Good call, Ryan. I did like the red underwear.
I also got to dance with Preston at one. That was fun.
Yeah. Preston's great too.
Is he though?
Ooh.
All right, how about this one? Who was the cast clown?
The Tuck family?
The whole family? Probably Ryan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There he is.
I'm talking about you.
Yes.
We always followed your lead, Ryan.
I got in trouble more times than I probably should have.
Exactly.
You're
Kept the giggles flowing.
Yeah.
There's more guffaws than giggles, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
You can really stifle it. It's like.
Love it. All right, let's do. Oh, where'd they go? Okay, let's do this one. Most likely to break character on stage.
Anyone watching Isaac?
Interesting.
Anybody have a? I like that answer.
With us.
You guys, okay? I'm looking for the guys at the bottom. If they have any, I'll put them on the screen. Okay, let's do this one.
I feel like we're all pretty on point.
We already talked about this.
Isaac.
Isaac.
Whoops.
All right, this one. Most likely to be late.
On stage or to rehearsal?
Tanner's nominating himself.
Tanner.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Own it. That's okay. How about this? Most likely to injure themselves.
Preston.
Preston.
What part of what? Your feet or what, Preston?
Yeah. Yes. Everything.
Definitely.
Do a lot of crazy stuff. Like if anyone's gonna get injured, it was him.
He really did embrace being just a young kid that couldn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can I say? I really got the character. Jumped off of really, really tall buildings. I'm fine.
He's fine. Don't look at his feet. Okay.
Yeah.
How about this one? Most likely to know their lines.
Me.
You
I can say that too. I had like maybe like 10 lines. Mine were all pretty short.
Yeah, I'd say Isaac again, honestly.
Isaac or Nikki?
Nikki.
Nick.
Nick's better. I didn't have that many lines to memorize.
Because they never knew their lines.
No.
Hi, Logan.
Hi.
There was a lot of good improv. They were able to work their way around anything.
The first time we did the tuck scenes off book, it was awful. It was so bad.
It was
Nikki,
so
you be nice.
Mostly.
It leads into this one. Most likely to forget a line.
Ryan, I love you. Ryan.
Me too.
Guilty. He knows.
Or you could just say make up a line.
Fair point.
Sorry.
I like
Just
it.
own
All
it.
right,
That's
last
all.
question. Most likely to miss an entrance. Anybody miss an entrance during the show?
It's so hard. We were just such a perfect cast, you know?
Yeah,
Exactly.
We were. Kind of an unfair question.
No one missed an entrance, really.
Did anyone miss an entrance?
I don't remember anyone missing an entrance.
Yeah, does Toni have anything to say about this?
Toni?
She's probably ready to
Hold on.
prove us all wrong.
Let's see. Missing entrances.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like anyone did.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't remember any.
We were the perfect cast.
Gosh, we're just so great.
I would say that the Tucks were, again, probably anybody knew it was the Tucks. We were definitely, did we already do class clown?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you okay?
What happened?
Tanner
just fell off his chair.
We have a new cast clown.
Yep. I bow to you.
What just happened?
What happened there?
Yeah, no, I landed on this, so I'm okay.
Excellent.
So much for those chips. All right. That was Kensington Questions. Let's play the intro again. Everybody loves it. Yay! Hey, do you have some more things to auction off for us?
I do. I have a couple more things. Ready? Okay, so we've already talked about it, but this is the music box that May used. Now, honestly, it's not a music box. It's just a little storage box, so don't get sad when you don't see it. It doesn't have music in it. But this is May's music box that she would keep. We wanted something just very sweet and tender, and this is the one I picked out for her. It's got a little hummingbird on top, which you may not know this, but there was a theme running through it about basically Winnie being just such a small person and making such a big difference. And so this one has the hummingbird on it. And I don't know if you noticed, but in Tuck's house, we had a weather vane on top, and there was also a hummingbird on top of that. And little details that maybe you didn't notice, but there's some texturing there for you. You want the box?
We might as well. We're getting to the end.
All right. This one may not look impressive, but this is Jesse's water bottle. This is the vial that held the water that he gave to Winnie when he said for 17. What? Oh, is that me? That was me echoing. Sorry. Anyway, so the water's not in it anymore. Of course, you can put water in it.
There's a little bit. There's a little bit of water.
Is there?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, there is. Look at it.
Oh, there is just a little teeny bit of water in
also
it.
Get some water that'll make
There's actually some water in it. Yeah, you could live forever, people.
Instant water.
Maybe I should
Magic water.
Magic water. You'll live forever.
Yeah, so that is Jesse's vial. So if you want Jesse's vial with custom cork that I had to actually size to make it fit inside of there. There are some items so we can see how this the bid goes. So
Okay, I just put the box on. You need to send me. I didn't get the vial, so send me a picture of the vial.
I thought I sent that just now.
Okay. These are this is great.
I said it was delivered.
Well, maybe I'll check again. Why don't we do this? Well, let me check comments, make sure that we're not missing anybody saying anything,
I'm still standing strong on Hugo's diary, by the way.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
right now, at least.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. So Nikki is in the lead for the toad with $10.
Whoa.
And Isaac is in the lead for his own journal at $2. And
All it's going for?
Well, yeah, because nobody wants to bid against him for his own journal.
Who would want to steal from Hugo? He's so adorable.
This costed, I bet you, $25 just to buy it. It's a leather bound book with a moleskin pencil, people.
I'll just bid against myself.
I just bid $5, so now it's up to $5.
I'm
raising it up.
Yeah, but you guys can't give me my cost.
They're so sentimental, though. You got these sentimental items. Nobody wants to take that from Isaac.
I know, right? All the kids' entries in it.
Theresa already threatened us if any of us bid on the music box.
Yeah,
that's true.
Get my money's worth.
Yeah, but I love all the kids' entries in it. Can we talk about the kids backstage and their Team Hugo, Team Jesse,
Oh my
rivalry?
Hey, we
Like
even
the
have
entire-
2 miles If I'm being
Yeah,
real.
a couple times people put Miles in it as their vote, but they would literally, because in the green room we had the whiteboard, and the kids would just go crazy on it. And they straight up set up a table, 2 sides, Team Jesse, Team Hugo, and they would like write their names in it, like not even just tallies. They would put names down.
Yeah, I had to stop that because it got a little bit carried away.
I know. I'm like, listen, I don't want you to start a rivalry between me and Preston. I like Preston.
Okay, so bring Preston back on. Can we get Preston back in?
Yeah, I'm gonna take.
Let's amend this, Preston.
Okay.
I'm not liable.
I have no idea why there was a team Hugo at all. Okay, sure. He's better. He's better looking, better dancing. Where was I going with this?
More age appropriate.
Accurate.
It was, and obviously Team Hugo.
How old is he?
You were 15?
My heart, I asked him to be about 15.
Yeah.
He could
Which
be
obviously
45 and he's still
I didn't
closer.
talk like I do now. I had to use my like nasally kind of voice.
Yeah, let's talk about Hugo's voice.
Talking your Hugo voice.
I literally had to ask them because like we would do warm-ups, all these different kinds of warm-ups. And they would get to the end of warm-ups and like, is there anything else that people would want to like anybody needs to warm up better? And I usually never ask, but for the purposes of this show, I had to do the nay, just to get in that headspace. Because instead of talking down here, I would talk up here like Hugo,
I was even higher than that. It was like way up in the rafters.
Yeah, it was like way up.
Hey,
but you didn't let him get too far ahead.
Your first 16 bars of.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, just your first 16 bars.
Of Hugo's first case?
Yeah.
Sure, it's like acapella.
Big day.
Yeah, okay.
Ready?
Yeah, all right.
Oh, boy.
Oh, okay. It's been a while. I've been talking too much as Isaac. Okay. Hugo's up here. Big day, first case. Girls gone, no trace. Small town, no crime. Now tree gaps hit the big time. Doodle-doo. This red tracks. Who's there? Oh, relax. Footprints, size 9. A clue. Yahoo! Nope, those are mine. I think that was my favorite. Was doing that little Yahoo. That was one of my favorite bits to do as Hugo.
That's awesome.
You were so cute. And you would do all the silly thing aside. I love directing people who are willing to take risks, right? And play with my vision a lot. And Isaac was really great that way because I'd be like, everything you have to do is be like a gentleman. Everything you do. And he'd be like, okay. And then I'd be like, make sure you open the fence for them. Don't forget to open the fence for them. Because I just wanted him to come off as a super gentlemanly, likable character, and he was so great about it.
I know, because otherwise, with a voice like that, he's just annoying.
Yeah, you were.
Thank you for helping me be lovable.
Yeah, but when you and Big Winnie Lydia grew up, and you were that mature Hugo, it was so fun. You were that little 15-year-old Hugo, but then when you became adult Hugo, you were just so glorious and handsome as that person taking care of her. So it was beautiful. And then you have
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And then you have poor heartbreaking Jesse. When Jesse comes in Winnie's story, it's when Hugo and Winnie kiss. And how did that feel, Preston?
It hurts. It hurt when I found that out. I didn't know it hurt, and then they told me.
It's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't cry.
Yes, you did.
Totally okay. Not a problem.
I'm gonna mute myself.
I love Tanner. I love these because there's a lag, so people are but I just saw Tanner's feet, and I feel bad for those chips and Tanner's life.
It's like a bag of a bunch of them, and I heard some of them pop, and so they're probably just loose. all around inside of it. My brother and I went to the store today with our new government.
It's very
money.
good. I mean, we could have put that under the trampoline when I fell through in Tarzan. Just chips. Who needs bouldering pads?
Bringing on Spencer because Michelle says that we need to ask Spencer about when he fell off the stairs going off the stage.
What? Do I remember this?
I come down and who's responsible for this or something, and I like twisted my ankle, and so Toni ended up putting a log there to help me get down from the 5 foot down to the 0. I think that was when it was.
Oh my gosh! and you fell off.
Yeah.
I thought what she was referring to.
I'm gonna take. Hold on. Ryan says that he has to go, so we'll say goodbye.
Sorry.
Bye.
Bye, Ryan.
I'll see you again.
I don't know if you can tell I'm still at the office today, so I'm ready to go home and have dinner, and this laptop just gave me a 5% warning, and I don't know where the cord is for it. So, it's kind of a happy all working out.
Go home.
Bye, Dad.
Love you all.
Good to see you, Ryan.
See you.
Bye. Tanner, people are saying that you should auction the chips. Oh, I love it.
18 bags.
They saved the man's life.
They've got Tanner on them. They're worth a fortune.
Oh, here, Spencer. No, he tripped going off the front of the stage. On the way out the door by the audience, he missed the steps, fell down, and crawled out.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, I remember that too. I thought, oh, I hope my mom's not in the audience tonight.
Was she?
No, but I remember I had a pretty good shot of it. I just crawled to the door.
It seems like such a Hugo thing to do. So it fits right. It shows us how Hugo would be.
Yeah, right. It shows like father, like son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crawling away, runs in the family.
Should we have some more singing?
Yes.
I asked Nikki to sing. So Nikki, will you sing, and then we'll wrap up, and those who are still bidding can finish bidding.
They better put me out for the toad. I'll be so mad.
She's gonna be singing, so if you want the toad, no, just kidding.
Tell me if you can hear the music real quick.
I'm gonna say bye to lots of people. No, Tony's showing the toad.
Okay, you want to just go?
Yes.
Okay. There are two ways home down one long road, one clear path to two conclusions. Does the story end or never end? Does the secret fade, or is it everlasting? I could return to my mother like nothing has happened, live like an imposter for 6 long years, turned 17, then good girl Winnie Foster, drinks from the vial and her past disappears. There are two ways home down one long road, one clear path to two conclusions. Does the story end or never end? Does the secret fade, or is it everlasting? Or I put the tucks behind me and pull up the anchor, ride the wheel plenty for all that it's worth. Turned 17, then 18, then 20. For life is the greatest wonder on earth. Can I, should I do my drink? Can I, should I, will I drink? There are two ways home down one long road, one clear path to two conclusions. Does the story end or never end? Does the secret fade? Or is it everlasting? Is it everlasting?
I remember when I first heard you sing that song.
You filmed it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I need to go find it now. Post me.
I'm sure that all the comments are going to flood in, so I'll put them up when they come up for Nikki. But let's wrap up. I love this. Sarah, thanks for commenting this. Let's do this. Anybody have anything you learned from through their Tuck experience that changed them professionally or personally? I think we've talked about this a little bit, but anybody have any that they want to share?
For me, this was a different character than I've ever played before because I've always played characters. I've always been a character actor, big personality, all of that. And so this was my turn. Like, I couldn't even be like normal, be myself, because me as Theresa is too big. And so this was a huge acting challenge for me to try to be like normal or be, but I mean, it's one thing I can pull in, I am a mom, so that that part was easy to pull in, but just to be not my big boisterous self and crazy character was a huge learning experience. And I feel like I kind of proved myself as an actor that I can play that range now. I can be a regular human being, and I can be, my Urinetown, whatever. And so I'm so grateful to have had this opportunity on so many different levels.
It was funny. I remember coaching you through some of that where you're like, Theresa, you have to pull back more. I thought I was. Oh, no. Like, even more.
It was really hard. Like, there was way further down in the process in one of the dress rehearsals, and you're like, you still need to pull it back. And I just went backstage and cried because I didn't know how. I didn't know what else I could do. Apparently I did okay.
You figured it out.
Yeah.
But that was for me. And then again, just the fact that we all connected so fast, and these guys will always be my sons. I still, after the earthquakes, I texted them. I was like, hey, you guys okay? Because they're my boys now.
I love that. I was going to say that I mean we've been doing Kensington Live, and at the end of every show, there's something about each of the shows. There's something that we can talk about that applies to this situation that we're in. And I've been thinking about Tuck and this idea of time and being grateful for time that we're given and for living our lives like as to the fullest. And I just think like that. Translating it to now, this is not the greatest situation that we could be in, but let's be grateful for what we can do, and connecting like this and seeing each other, and maybe getting to know people that we're stuck with better. I mean, stuff like that where we can appreciate the time that we're given, and I think after this is done, we'll even more appreciate that extra time, or when we get to go back and do these fun things, right? We'll appreciate it even more. Tanner.
I have one thing that I want to share really quick that I hadn't actually thought about until this moment. And this is going to take like a minute and 30 seconds.
Please do.
To tell this story. So in 2017, I served as a performing arts missionary, and it was really cool. But it was a very, very difficult experience for me. When I came back, I left school and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I was a theater major at the time. And oh, you gave me the full screen, thank you. So I was a theater major at the time, and then I left school, and I left school for about a year, and I thought I never wanted to do theater again because I had spent so much of my life doing it, and it had stopped being fun, and it started being a chore. And I didn't want, and so I just thought maybe I don't want to do theater anymore. I don't really enjoy it anymore, and so I stopped doing it for a while. And then I came into Tuck Everlasting, and when I came in and I bonded with the cast, and I made these friends that I still have friends in the cast that I text at least once or twice a week, and we're such great friends. I mean, Isaac and I did a D&D campaign together, and it was fun, super fun, and just because I had that experience, it made me realize, okay, maybe I don't want to study theater anymore, but maybe it's the one thing that I love, like almost more than anything in the world, and I want to keep doing it. Even if maybe I don't need to study it for it to be something that I love so much. Maybe it can just be something where I bond with people and I connect with people and I share my life experience with people, and it was really, really special to me for that reason. So thank you guys.
Yeah. I'm just complimenting, piggybacking on how cool Tanner is, on his perception of theater. He came into Tarzan when we did it. I don't know if you know this, but Tarzan, he was in Tarzan. He was in the ensemble, and he even told me, he's like, you know what? He's like, I just want to be in the ensemble. I just want to celebrate just being with being backstage and enjoying this experience. And you can imagine, he's such a great lead. He's a killer ensemble member. But just that sweet attitude of, I just need this to play. I just need to play.
You're my emotional support drum.
I love, there's some, Adria says, it made me realize how amazing small cast can be and how a production can happen without any backstage drama.
It's true. It can.
Yeah.
We proved that.
And you have to guard it. You have to have a bunch of people who are willing to get on board with that kind of theater. And I think that's what we try to do with Kensington, is make sure that it is a place where it's a home and people aren't fighting, but you're loved for you. You come in and we're going to appreciate the strengths that you have, and we're going to laugh at your weaknesses. And if you fall fences, we're okay with that.
We're going to tell the whole world.
That's okay.
Okay, should we end with our winners?
Oh, we have winners?
Why not? I mean, there's people that have bid on these items.
Okay, so what's the first time? I'll pull it out.
Okay, hold on. Let me refresh to get the most accurate, up-to-date comments. Okay, it's refreshing. Wait for it.
Yeah, nobody bid.
Let's see. Okay, let me go to the Apple. For the caramel apple. Oh, come on, Facebook, load. Okay, here it comes.
That's okay. I know where to store it if it doesn't get up.
No, I know that it did. You
actually got a bid?
I think it was a sympathy bid. Oh, no. Okay, so the caramel apple goes to Sarah Sherbold for $2.
Ah, Sarah Sherbold. Congratulations. You can Venmo me the $2.
Yeah, I'll put here. Why don't I put the here? There's the Kensington Venmo. All right, let's go up. Let's do our rings. The rings have 2 comments, one for $1.15 and one for $2, and it goes to the Hoskins.
Oh, Allie.
Hey.
Allie.
Yeah, that's a good person to own those.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Is the toad next?
The journal is what's next on mine.
Next, okay, got it.
And I believe that Isaac outbid me. You're welcome, Toni, for driving up the price a little bit. The journal goes to Isaac for $12. Yay!
Hey, Isaac, text me when you're working, and I'll drop it off to you.
Absolutely. I'll put it next to my golden caramel apple that I have.
Oh. Yes. Lydia and Isaac got Magic Moment for Winnie's story in the Tony Awards.
I'd like to thank the Academy.
All right, let's do. I have the toad here. The toad goes to Nikki for $10. Yay! All right, let's look.
What?
The toad was talking.
Oh, okay.
The toad talks?
I didn't know that.
Okay, the music box, yeah, goes to
The hummingbird.
Theresa for $15.
For how much?
15. She
Oh
just
my God, I'm like,
I jumped it really high. I didn't want anybody to outbid me.
you trade in cake if we need to.
That is a deal. That is a deal. I can make.
want some of that.
We'll talk.
Yeah. What can I sell to you, Mama T, to get some cake?
Yeah.
We
Has
just
that ever been said in any of the Kensington lives? Has anyone discussed her baking abilities and the magic of her food?
Oh,
It's
Okay.
oh gosh.
being a Mama
I
T
have
cook
words.
is a journey.
She's made my birthday
Honestly.
the last 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, maybe we should we'll have like a reunion. You can drive past my house and pick up a cupcake and wave.
Yes. I am there. Absolutely.
We'll do that.
So the vial.
I can mail you one.
I'm back at the end of the month.
You're back at the end of the month? Okay,
Yeah.
let us know. Yay!
Here we go.
Okay, the vial. Spencer Willis bet $2, but he said if the tree is included, I'll bid $10 because the tree was in the picture that you
No,
put.
it just cuter. Cuter.
Oh, look at it.
No.
Do you know the hours I spent making this?
Well, the real tree. We'll keep working on it, Spencer.
All right.
Spencer gets the vial for $2.
I'm
Yay!
going to put the vial on Michelle's desk.
Okay.
All right, everybody who won, there's the Kensington Venmo. She's gonna know if you don't Venmo her, and then you won't send the carrier pigeon with your package. Okay?
All right.
Okay, that's how it's gonna be. We'll figure out how to get you the stuff. Yeah. We'll get it.
It'll all work out.
Just highly illegal, almost drug deal esque drop offs. I've got.
We'll hire you, Preston. Okay, I love Tony's visions about family. Tuck made me grateful for my theater family, but I also took that home to my family as well. Love that, Chelsea. I love how fast and cast and crew can bond together with Kensington.
Yay! Hi, Emily.
Hi, Emily.
When this quarantine ends, I'm hugging you all when I see you.
Yes.
Mara hug.
Ditto.
What a prize.
I was gonna say the closing song I'm gonna is in the closing intro that I make is the wheel, and I've been thinking about this. You know, it's this wheel, and right now we might be like at a sucky time in the wheel, but it's gonna keep on turning, and we'll get back to life and to being able to see each other, connect, to do theater, and it'll get better, right? Yeah.
Hope so.
We lost a few, but I'm going to put Nikki on so y'all can wave bye and tell everybody bye. But thanks for coming on, guys. This has been so fun. And you broke the record for...
What's going on Saturday?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to say, first, you broke the record for longest live stream, so congrats. Tuck Fan. You even beat Joff. I don't know how you beat Joff.
We're too talking.
Yeah, you beat Joff. I don't know how, but you did.
Even after him leaving to go to Kensington Theater to zipline.
I know. On Saturday, come Saturday at 7 p.m., we're going to have an Improvinator show. So you better come back. It's going to be fun. We're going to try out some games that we can play through this live stream. It will be fun. It will be real improv because we don't know how it's going to go. So come back Saturday night at 7 for Improvinators. Dun, dun, dun. Look at that. I just love flashing it. There you go. All right. Thanks for coming on, guys. I'm going to put Nikki on so y'all can wave, and then we'll be off. Thanks, guys.
Love you guys.
Thank you so much, you guys. It was nice to see you all. I miss you all.
As soon as this quarantine's over, we're having a real reunion.
Yes.
Absolutely. We have it recorded now. It has to happen. There we go.
It's a wheel.
It's a wheel, Winnie, a ripple in water. Girl to wife to mother to daughter, like all your kinfolk, come and gone.
It's a wheel.
It's a wheel, Winnie, a circle in motion.